Now, one problem can very easily be identified, that we are equating happiness with future goals. When I reach this point, then I'll be happy. And right now, I'm trying to reach happiness. So happiness is now in the future, and life is passing by in the present. And when I'll be happy in the future, it means I cannot be happy in the present. And what is the guarantee that when you get the object of your desire, you will be happy? We chase happiness all our lives. You acquire educational degrees, you work hard in the office, you enter into so many varieties of relationships, you acquire so many things, but happiness still remains elusive. How do we get this thing called happiness? If it could be grown in the fields, the farmers would be the happiest people, but they are not. If it could be produced in factories, the industrialists would have been the happiest, which they are not. If it could be purchased in the marketplace, then traders would have plenty of it. However, this happiness is after a lifetime of running still nowhere to be seen. I am reminded of the statement of Oscar Wilde. You know, when you study English literature in school, college, you come across his name. He was born around 1850 and he went to Oxford, having been schooled in the best schools of England when England was ruling the world. And in Oxford, at the end of first year, he got the Newdigate Prize for the best amongst greats. He was a playwright, a novelist, a dramatist, a critic, and his plays were the toast of England. However, at the end of his life, he said, some people are recognized, equated as the icon of the culture of their generation after they have passed away. In my case, it all happened to me while I was alive, and yet I made such a mess of my life. I am so unhappy. Now look, the richest people in the world, John Rockefeller, who is considered by estimators, of course in his time he was the wealthiest man in the world, but if you correct the wealth based on inflation all through history, starting let's say even from Julius Caesar, etc., he is considered one of the richest people in history. And John Rockefeller said, I had millions, but it did not bring me 6 days of happiness. What about fame? If you have a lot of fame, does it guarantee happiness? Ask Justin Bieber, who's the second most followed person on Twitter. Second most followed. And Justin Bieber said, people look at the outside remarkable things, but they don't know the other side. This life gets at me. I have to struggle to get through the day. He's got it all, and still he's not happy. And what about the royalty? Prince Harry said, I have spent practically all my life telling people I'm all right. But I can safely say that losing my mother at the age of 12 and shutting my emotions for the next 20 years did nothing for my mental health. So why is it that all this search for happiness is not helping us reach there? Now, one problem can very easily be identified, that we are equating happiness with future goals. When I reach this point, then I'll be happy. And right now, I'm trying to reach happiness. So happiness is now in the future and life is passing by in the present. And when I'll be happy in the future, it means I cannot be happy in the present. And what is the guarantee that when you get the object of your desire, you will be happy? As Ruskin Bond said, he's an Indian English writer. So Ruskin Bond said, there are only two disappointments in this world. The first is when you desire a thing and do not get it. And the second is when you desire a thing and get it. Then also you are disappointed. So now when you decide that I will only be happy when I get such and such thing, then you are going to lead a very unhappy life. There was once this king who was thinking about all his problems, walking the terrace of his palace and pondering. There had been friction with the queen and the disobedience from the prince and rebellion in that section of his kingdom. When in that cloud of misery of his, there was a sudden ray of light. He heard sounds of laughter from a poor family's hut by the side of the palace. That astounded the king. I have it all, and yet I am unhappy. And this family has got nothing and still they are happy. He called his minister and said, Mantri, what is the secret of this poor family's happiness? I must know. The minister said, O king, you wish for such a gem of knowledge. It's not going to come free. You will need to pay for it. 99 gold coins will be the price. The king said it's a small price tag for such a gem of wisdom. He instructed his servants, get those 99 gold coins. And when they were brought, the minister tied them in a cloth, made a bundle, and threw the bundle in front of the poor family's hut. It was night time. The family was resting. When they woke up in the morning, they opened their door and they saw a bundle there. Initially, they were apprehensive. What is this? Is it a terrorist attack? If you see something, say something. Or is it our neighbor doing some jadoo tona, some black magic? So they picked up their courage and opened the bundle and saw the yellow metal. Said, gold! We have hit gold! We saw gold earlier on, but it was through the window panes of jewelry shops. And today we are the proud owners of gold. Bhagwan jab deta, chappar phad ke deta. How much has God given us? Let's start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 55, 56, 57, 96, 97, 98, 99. What kind of number is 99? If God had to give, He should have given 100 straight. Why 99? They became unhappy. Just like, when a cricketer gets out at 99, the cricketer is unhappy. And if that cricketer is a test cricketer, like Sachin Tendulkar, he was on his 100th 100. And for 1 year he was stuck. He was keeping on getting out in the 90s. And all of India would mourn, hey Bhagwan, why did he not complete his 100th 100? The same was the discontent of this family. Now they said, never mind. Until we can get the 100th gold coin, we cannot be happy. And God has given us 99. So we'll earn the 100th one ourselves. They made an earning boostment and saving enhancement scheme that in so many months we will have it. Now the day the saving would not happen, a fight would begin at home. The wife would tell the husband, your earnings fell short. Why did you speak rudely to that client when he came to your cart to purchase those eatables. The husband would respond, "You spent too much. Why did you put ghee in the dal?" Slowly, slowly, the peace at home started disappearing. After 1 month, the king was walking on the palace terrace again, and from the same hut, sounds of quarreling were coming. King said, "What a metamorphosis has happened out here." He called the minister, "What happened to their happiness?" The minister said, "O king, this is called 99 ka chakkar. The vicious trap of 99. This family is stuck in it. They are thinking what they have is not sufficient to be happy." See the mistake. You think you tie up your happiness to externals, and the Vedas tell us that happiness, there's another kind of happiness from inside which doesn't depend on externals. But now they tied it up to the externals and they've only got 99. How can they be happy? Earlier on, they were happy in the moment. But if you think of it, we are all in this trap of 99. You have got enough, 2 rotis to eat, 2 sets of clothes to wear. Then why is this high going on all the time? No, I've only got a townhouse, I need a single family house now. I've only got a 3-bedroom single family house, I need a 5-bedroom single family house. And it goes on and on and on. What I have is not enough, I need to get that one. So we are going on working on the standard of our life, standard of our living. But happiness does not depend on the standard of your living. It depends on the quality of your life. Consider this example. One alumni meeting. About 15 alumni of a university were connecting together after a few years having been separated. And the conversation turned a favorite professor, and they started discussing how inspirational he was, how he had guided them, and they still remembered the value he added to their lives. So they all got this brainwave, we must take some time from him and go and meet him as a group. So he consented. On the appointed date and time, they arrived there. The professor had got about 25 cups of coffee in a tray. Each cup was different over a spectrum from the most ornate to the most rudimentary. Mud pot. When they all came, he said, "Go grab a cup of coffee for yourselves and then we'll sit and talk about life." They all brought a cup with them. And he just pointed out. He said, "Just observe, you all picked out the most ornamental cup in the tray, which was remaining. Although the coffee was the same in each cup, you went for the externals. Now that external made no difference to the taste of the coffee. In fact, it could be counterproductive because it would come in the way. You may get better taste from the ordinary mud pot, but you went for the externals. Likewise, are the externals in your life, which is the brand of your car and the size of your house and the number of zeros in your bank balance, these are only the externals. Like the coffee in the cup is life, which is the real thing. But because you are so focused on the externals, you are missing out on enhancing the quality of your life because time is only so limited. So, we are this lack of understanding of ours, and in modern times, it has got further complicated. Because of all the comparisons that are being made available through social media, then now people are comparing. Oh, my neighbors went for a cruise to Alaska. If I don't go there, how can I be happy? Earlier on, you would have to go and meet someone and then only comparisons could happen. And now, comparisons are always possible through social media. And that is creating a new concept called FOMO. FOMO is F-O-M-O, fear of missing out. Oh my God, I'm missing out in life. Well, you are comparing with that other guy's Facebook profile or Insta profile. Now, don't you think that people just put their best moments in life on their Insta profile? It's not how they are leading their whole life. And that also they have touched up with Photoshop. The person who is a better Photoshop editor is making a better post. Right? But this comparison that is coming is robbing us of all our joys. The moment you compare Theodore Roosevelt, a former president of America, and said, comparison is the thief of joy. The moment there is comparison, then joy finishes. I'll tell you my own story. When I did my high school in Delhi. And most of the years through schooling, I used to go in the school bus wherever I was. But for 1 year in between, I was inspired. I will cycle to school, even though it was a 40-minute ride. And then being young, moment I would see somebody in front, I would take it as an invitation to race. How can this guy be in front? I need to be ahead. So when I cross that guy, somebody else would be in front, then I have to race him as well. So the whole journey home would be passed in racing. And on one occasion, I was returning from school, and it was also a hilly path at times. And I saw somebody half a kilometer ahead. I said, I have to go ahead of him. There was a huge headwind blowing, but I started pumping on the pedal. For some reason, that guy was also cycling hard, even though he did not know that he's in the race. Only I knew that I was. I struggled and struggled and struggled to catch up with him. And finally, when I was abreast, you should have seen the expression on my face. It was as if I had won the Indian triathlon. But the other guy didn't even know that he had lost the triathlon. And then when I overtook him, my most euphoric moment, it was then that I realized I was supposed to take a right turn 400 meters before I missed it. This comparison had made me miss my goal. But in life, we just keep comparing, and we go on and on and on. There is no end to this journey.